Here's something most men don't realize until it's too late. When a woman finally files for divorce, it's almost never a spur-of-the-moment decision. She didn't wake up one random Tuesday and think, let me just detonate my entire life today. Filing is usually the last step in a long emotional process, not the first. By the time the papers hit the table, she's already been gone. Emotionally, mentally, sometimes even physically and financially, for much longer than you might think. A lot of men often feel blindsided, but women rarely file without months, sometimes years of trying to fix things quietly before they've checked out. And that brings me to the second truth. Silence, avoidance, or the classic "I'll deal with it later" usually speak louder than anything else. Most men weren't really bad husbands. They were just disconnected, distracted, or convinced everything was fine because nobody was yelling. But relationships don't usually end because of one big explosion. They end because of 1,000 small moments where someone felt unheard, unseen, or alone. By the time the wife files, her hope has usually run out. Now, legally speaking, how you respond in those early days matters more than anything. A lot of men react with anger or panic, with harsh threats, harsh texts, demands for custody, and let me be clear, that is the fastest way to make your case more complicated, more expensive, and much harder to resolve. Judges read tone. They look at communication patterns. They notice who can stay steady and who escalates everything into a battle. A calm husband who's in control of his emotions gets far better results than an aggressive one, especially in Massachusetts. And speaking of things men don't expect, let's talk about the financial reality. I can't tell you how many husbands come into my office realizing that they know shockingly little about their own money. Their wives handled the bills while they went to work, they handled the kids' appointments, the insurance, the forms, and everything else. If you want to negotiate well, you need to actually understand your income, assets, debts, retirement accounts, and expenses. Otherwise, you're negotiating blind while she's walking in with a full spreadsheet. All right, now let's talk about the kids. Courts in Massachusetts aren't interested in who you think is the better parent. They're interested in who provides consistency, stability, cooperation, and emotional safety. Men will sometimes say, I want full custody, out of fear or pride. But unless they're the primary caretaker or there's serious danger involved, that's not happening. What does matter is your involvement, your communication, your willingness to put the child above the conflict. Show the judge that you're steady and child-focused, not combative. And here's one of the most important things that I wish men understood. Doing nothing is not a strategy. A lot of men freeze when divorces start. They don't respond to filings, they avoid meetings, they procrastinate, they delay getting the attorney documents just because they're hoping that things will calm down. But the divorce doesn't slow down for your comfort. You need to engage in the process, collaboratively, thoughtfully, and with a clear head. The more you do this, the better your outcome is going to be. But let me end on a truth that men don't hear enough. This isn't the end of your life. It is the end of a chapter. You're allowed to grieve it, learn from it, and then rebuild something better. Many men come out of divorce more self-aware, more present as fathers, and more grounded as humans. You're not losing everything. You're gaining clarity and eventually a version of your life that fits who you are now. I'm Ellen Wright, and if you are a man facing divorce in Massachusetts, whether you saw it coming or it hit you like a freight train, you don't have to walk into it scared or confused. You just need information, strategy, and steady support. And that we can help with. Remember, when you understand the law, the process stops feeling like a disaster and starts feeling like a direction.